I get inspired by learning things off records, and I don't. It makes me happy to do. I've never, as a kid, I don't know. I think I always had my own voice, but I remember a kid who didn't really seem to care that much about music telling me, "Hey, you should be original. You're better than this person or that person that you look up to so much." And I would be like, "No, I'm not." And I love learning their stuff. Like, there's no reason I would not do this. And gradually, I developed.
When did you write your first songs?
Oh, right away.
Right away.
It was actually the first thing I did, but it made me take it more seriously when I started learning other people's songs, But emotionally, I had to do it right from the beginning. So that was the day I started playing guitar. I was mad at a kid, and I just went into my house and wrote all these songs about, like, I want to kill him. I must have I filled up like a whole tape and wrote the name of every song that I wrote on the cassette tape, and it was just one. I don't have the tape anymore, but it was like, I think it was just one angry song after another of just these punk songs about this kid and about stuff I was mad about. But it made me feel better. I had been going through sort of a rough period where I was sort of imbalanced and lost, and I got that initial aggression out playing music, and then I very quickly went into a period of just being a real peaceful person who, loved the ideals of the 60s and things like that, and just wanted to make music that felt good, and went into a very arty period after that of things like and Talking Heads. So my first 4-track recordings were all real kind of arty experimental things.
Did you make a band when you were young?
No, I had conceptual bands in my recordings and stuff.
But like no gigs?
No. I played a show with my guitar teacher. That was my first live experience, was playing a bunch of Feedback on a cover of a 60s song they were covering. He had kind of a psychedelic, modern psychedelic band, and it was kind of a feature for the guitar. I did all this soloing, long solos and Feedback and stuff on this one song while he just sang, and that was a lot of fun. But yeah, other than that, I mean, there really wasn't I didn't really know kids I could see eye to eye with. There wasn't a lot of kids who wanted to do the same kind of thing, and people seemed to be very concerned with what other people would think of what we would do, and they weren't thinking in terms of like following interests. They were thinking in terms of like, I want girls to like me at parties and stuff like that. And so somebody like me who is thinking totally in musical terms of wanting to do something weird or wanting to do something different, they didn't see any place for that. So there was
pure.
Yeah,
pure.
Yeah. I loved the making of music. So people didn't. I felt whenever I would try to play with people, I definitely had experiences, but I felt me and them felt totally disconnected from one another. They thought I was too serious about recording sometimes, or sometimes they thought what I wanted to do was too weird. So I pretty much just focused on practicing. I figured when I moved to Hollywood, I would probably find some people who were more suited to playing with me, and I did right away. I met a really great bass player when I moved to Hollywood, and he was the first person who I really started developing a real musical communication with. He died a few years later, but he really, he was the first person who I had the kind of connection like I have with Josh, or that I had with Flea or Omar or whatever. Like, I had that with him first, and that was a great experience.
Yeah, maybe it was so good, that's how you extended it to these cats after him.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird the way the universe pushes people together, I feel like when you're ready and you meet the people who you're meant to play with, it sometimes happens like magic. You might never go out during a certain period of time, and you go out one time and you meet somebody who becomes like a lifelong musical partner. It's I can't help but feel like there's a plan sometimes, because it's weird how I didn't meet anybody who I had that kind of connection with as a kid, and then in my adult life I've slowly, I probably know like 5 people like that who I feel like I have a really born connection with. But
That's pretty bold moving out here when you hadn't felt it yet.
Well, I knew I wanted to be a musician, and I felt like Hollywood was the place to.
Where were you at before?
Chatsworth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, not too far.
No, I was. It's very far in some ways.
Yeah. Light years.
Yeah, it's the deep valley, and it's just nothing going on there, and people. It was good. It kept me in my bedroom
thermos
practicing.
Bottle. It was the thermos bottle.
Yeah, because people were very.
Well, when it comes to working on yourself, maybe you need.
Yeah,
not distraction.
Yeah, I'm not sure what would happen if I would have grown up in Mar Vista where I lived before that. Like in Mar Vista, it seemed like there was, I knew some cool older kids and
right.
Had a friend who was into punk and stuff, and like I moved to Chatsworth, and the fact that I was punk was just.
Yeah,
like
solitary confinement.
Unheard of, people thought I was so weird and had the nickname Punker John and didn't like that. and just like, it just made me feel like a real outcast. And I think more and more I went through a weird phase of just trying to be kind of normal for a while and fit in. And then I gave up on that and just focused on making music in my bedroom over, all the time and let myself be as weird as I actually am,
Yeah. Oh, this is interesting. So it's hard to really plan the life journey.
Yeah, I think it's more important just to follow your heart. Mm-hmm. I think when somebody's goal is to sort of to succeed at something in some way, or to when they're thinking of it in terms of I want to be seen by the outside world like this or that, I feel like it's sending all kinds of weird mixed messages to your inner self. I think you'll get what you want out of life as long as you're clear about what it is that you want. If that's all you want, there's plenty of steps you can take to do that. But if you really love music, I think just following your heart and playing the music that you're interested in, and just putting every bit of energy into every day towards that one idea of wanting to merge with that force that music comes from. The universe has really skillful, exacting ways of putting you in the place that you need to be at the right time to play with the people who you're meant to play with. And I think it only comes from some kind of inner confusion about the reasons that you're doing it when you don't get what you want. I think it just comes from some, I feel like for me, my mindset was always just like, I want to make music that, that I feel good about making. I just want to, for me, it wouldn't have made a difference in my mind whether I was in a club band or if I was a rock star or something like it. That was a total non-issue to me. Like I wanted to make, music that I liked and that I felt good about, and that was something I was always doing anyway. So it just seemed like and when so I just always felt like if it's good music, there's always going to be some people who want to hear it. And the other stuff just wasn't important to me.
I think that's a good thing.
Yeah. I think sometimes some people are in a sort of a state of confusion where you're motivated by sort of and to some degree I can't say that like I've gotten sucked into it too, where you're kind of you lose a little of your focus on what you're hearing on your inside, and you're concerned about what these people think or what those people think, and
outside.
And I feel like that's the enemy there. You've really got to listen to what's, because I feel like music comes through inner channels inside yourself. Mm-hmm. When, just like I was saying, when I was a kid, I would just hear it in my head. It wasn't like I was trying to think of a song, and that's how songwriting is. You just have to listen to what's going on in your head. You don't try to write a song, and I think that's why a lot of the time people who write really good pop songs, a lot of the time the good song is the only good song on the whole album because they're not really listening. They're just trying to achieve something.